destination. I mean, after 9 months of crawling through the rainforest, running up the Appalachian Mountains, swimming with sharks, and sleeping in caves, I have made it to the park. Well, hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to the park. This month, we're gonna be on the move to get to know more about God. We're gonna brave the unknown. And not only that, sometimes in life, you might be going through something and you feel super brave, right? So you're gonna keep moving forward. But sometimes things might be a little hard and you find yourself taking a few steps back. But you know what? That's okay. And that's why this month we're gonna be talking about courage. Now, courage is when God helps you to be brave enough to do hard things. So when you feel like you're going through something and it's too big for you to handle, you can remember that God is big enough and that He has got it. He's with you every step of the way and He never leaves your side. So when we put our trust in God, we can be brave and courageous and keep moving forward, right? And that's why today's game is called Step Forward, Step Back. So for this one, my 3 carpets over here, so yellow, orange, purple, you guys are gonna go ahead and line up on this side. And then all of you guys are gonna go ahead and line up on this side over here for me, okay? All right. Go ahead and line up. All right. Can you guys line up over here? All right, so basically how this game is gonna work is I'm gonna tell you guys a bunch of commands and it's up to you guys to follow them. And as you guys follow the commands, you're gonna get closer and closer to this middle line over here where you guys are gonna high five a friend from the other side, all right? Does that make sense? All right, are we ready for our first command? Too bad. All right, first comes first, we're gonna do 1 courageous step forward, all right? So 1 step forward. All right, now let's do another courageous step forward. Now, you just heard some, yeah. So you just heard some really bad news and you found out that you're moving away. So you guys are gonna take a step back because you're afraid. Take a step back. All right. Now you just also found out that, what's a good one? Can you guys think of something that would make you afraid? What makes you afraid? Spiders? All right. That's a real one. All right, well, you just found a bunch of spiders and you're super afraid, so take a step back. I'm afraid of spiders, so you're gonna have to take a step back. Take a step back. All right. Now you trust God, so you're gonna take a giant leap. All right, now whoa, freeze. Everyone freeze. All right. Now, you guys are also afraid. What's another thing you're afraid of? Your cat scratching you?
My house also.
Oh. What? Snakes? Okay, you found a bunch of snakes. You found a bunch of snakes in your house, so you guys are afraid, so take some steps back. All right, you gotta take some steps back, bud. You guys gotta back up. Back up, back up. There we go. All right, did y'all all back up? All right, now you're gonna take some courageous hop forward, hop forward. Well, it looks like you guys are still afraid, so go ahead, take 3 steps back. All right, now it's time for a little brave spin. Brave spin. Let me see a brave spin. All right, I don't feel like you guys are moving back, but it's okay. All right, now take some courageous step forward. Whoa, freeze. Is everyone frozen? All right.
I'm dizzy.
Oh, you're dizzy? Well, that's not. See us after. All right, now take another courageous step forward and go ahead and give your friend a high five. Go find a friend, man. You got friends? Go find a friend. Come on.
I've traveled before.
You know, it's worth a shot. All right. Go ahead. Go back to your seats. Great job, guys.
I've traveled so far.
You're still traveling, yeah. And you got your Mario Kart shirt on, so I'm sure you're traveling. All right. Great job, guys. All right, now I'm sure you guys, just like in today's game, had to take a few steps back, but you know what? You guys kept going forward, and you guys made it to where you needed to go, and that's what really takes courage. And just like how in today's Bible story, we're going to see a man named Moses who was given the courage by God even when he wasn't ready. So God can give us courage when we don't feel ready. Now, can you guys say that with me? Can you guys say that with me? Come on, guys. There we go. All right, we're going to say God can give you courage when you don't feel ready. All right, and God can give you courage when you don't feel ready. Yeah, so no matter what we're going through in life, we know that God gives us that courage and that he's always with us, and we can be brave in that. So let's go through our memory verse, because that also talks about how we can be courageous. And it's Psalm 56:3, and it says, "When I'm afraid, I put my trust in you." Now, can you guys say that with me again? Yeah. All right, we're going to start with the verse Psalm, okay? So Psalm 56:3. When I'm afraid, I put my trust in you. Yeah, great job. So like we were saying, no matter what situation, what difficult thing you're going through, God is always with you. He never leaves your side. He's right there walking with you, right? And so no matter what hard time we're going through, we can be brave and knowing that God is with us, and we can trust him in that. And that's a great reason of why we give God our offering, right? So offering is a time where maybe you have some of your allowance or maybe some coins that you found, right? But we have the opportunity to give that back to God, to show him our thanks, how much we love and trust him, how much we are thankful for what he's done in our lives, right? And so offering is that time where we can do that. So I'm gonna need some volunteers to come collect our offering for today. I'm gonna pick you and you in the black shirt and the denim jacket. All right. And then if you have an offering for them to come collect, go ahead, raise your hand up super, super high, and our friends will come collect the offering. All right, well, it looks like we don't have an offering today. So, all right, oh, there's a hand? Okay, no. Well, it's okay, friends. That is okay. Do you guys want to join me for worship? Is that better? Do you want to join us for worship? All right, I'm gonna put this back down here. All right, so now it's time for us to sing, dance, give God the praise. I'm gonna have my two friends come up here, but does anyone else want to join me up on stage? One of the three of y'all is gonna have to pick it, and y'all can decide from there and send one person up. Oh man, these are so good hands. All right, and you. All right, let's go ahead and move this out of the way. So we need as much space as possible. All right. All right, let's go through some names. You want to stand up here for me? Stand up here. All right, let's go through some names. What is your name?
Sophie.
Everyone say hi, Sophie. Hi, Sophie. And what is your name?
Evangeline.
Everyone say hi, Evangeline. Hi, Evangeline. And what is your name?
Camden.
Everyone say hi, Camden. Hi, Camden. All right, now to start our worship song, we're going to count up to 3 and say, hit it, Booth. Y'all ready? All right, 1, 2, 3. Hit it, Booth. And you're going to follow me, okay? All right, so we're going to go inside. Come on, Camden. We're stepping to the beat. And we're doing this for a little bit. Feel free to sing.
I know that you are with me every step of the way. You're strong enough to handle any fear that I face.
All right.
Even things that scare me, cause they seem too big. Even all the hard things that make me wanna quit. You're bigger than it all, and you're in charge of it.
And we're hands up to the side.
When I look to you,
Point to Jesus.
Your love is unforgettable. Your strength
It's undeniable.
with you.
Jesus is the reason.
You are the reason I'm brave.
All right, back to step it.
When I look at how great you are, your kindness helps me believe
Come on, boys.
that you are good, and with you I can do anything.
Because even things that scare me.
Because they seem too big, even all the hard things that make me wanna quit. You're bigger than it all, and you're in charge of it. I don't feel so
Hands up to the
worried
sky.
when I look to you, Jesus. Your love is unforgettable. Your strength is undeniable. With you, nothing is impossible. You are the reason, you are the reason I'm brave. You are the reason, you are the reason I'm brave. You are the reason, you are the reason I'm brave.
And we're doing your love.
It's unforgettable. Your strength is undeniable. With you, nothing is impossible. You are the reason, you are the reason I'm brave.
Yeah.
You are the reason, you are the reason I'm brave.
One more time.
The reason, you are the reason I'm brave.
Great job. Great job. Did you have fun, Camden? All right. Great job, friends. Now, it took a lot of courage to come up here and sing and dance, right? And in the same way, no matter what we're going through in life, we can be courageous because we know that God's with us. And that's why in today's story, we're going to see that even when we don't feel ready, we can still be brave and courageous because we know that God is with us. So let's take a look.
All right, good morning, friends. How we doing? Oh, that's so great, so awesome to see you all had your morning coffee too, right? There we go. Can you tell I had coffee this morning? Can you tell? Can you tell? Oh, man. Well, you picked an amazing weekend to be here. Because if you've been here for the past month, or if this is your first time for the past month, we have been going over God's big story. We've been going over the biggest events and the best stories from the Bible. And now the Bible, God gave us the Bible so that we can learn about Him, so we can learn what He's like and how He wants us to live and how He wants to have a relationship with us. And we started in, actually, what is the first book of the Bible? That's where we started. And did you know Genesis means the beginning? I think it does. Don't quote me on that. But Genesis is the first book of the Bible. And actually, you can look at God's big story, and we've got some of the stories that we've already talked about last month and the past couple months, and some of the stories we're going to talk about this month. Now, God's big story started with creation. When God created everything, and the world was perfect, and He created Adam and Eve, the first two humans, and life was perfect. But then they made one mistake. They disobeyed the one rule that God had set in place, and when they did that, their relationship with God was separated. They brought sin into the world. Remember, life was perfect. But now that sin had come into the world, now there was going to be pain and suffering and hurt and death. But did God just leave it like that and said, oh, well? No! God had a plan, a rescue plan to save us, to bring us back into a perfect relationship with Him. And that story, that rescue plan, spans the entire length of the Bible, from the very first verse to the very last verse. And so we're going to pick up that story today, but God's rescue plan, it really started when He told a man named Abraham that Abraham's children would be more numerous than the stars in the sky, and that the whole world would be blessed because of Abraham's children. That was a promise God made to Abraham. And so Abraham had children. One of them was named Isaac. And then Isaac had children, and one of his children was named Jacob, and Jacob had children, and one of Jacob's children's name was Joseph. Now, all of these children, over all these hundreds of years, well, they became known as the Israelites. And over 100 years and more than 100 years, there was a lot of Israelites in the land. And now Joseph, if you don't know anything about Joseph, Joseph ended up becoming the second-hand man to Pharaoh. And I don't know about you, but that means he was a pretty big deal. Pharaoh basically said, you know what, you're basically going to be the man. I'm only better than you in title, because my name's Pharaoh. And so Joseph had this great life, and so obviously everything was going perfect for the Israelites, right? Nope. Because guess what? Did you guys know that the death rate is 100%? Yeah, we all die, I hate to tell you, but Joseph died. And so the new Pharaoh, hundreds of years later, didn't know about Joseph. The new Pharaoh didn't believe in the God of Joseph. And the new Pharaoh, well, he didn't really care for the Israelites too much. And we're going to hear all about that story. And so we've been in the book of Genesis. Now we're in the second book of the Bible, which is what? I might have heard it. What's the second book of the Bible? Exodus, that's right. Does anybody know what Exodus means? Does any children know what Exodus means? Wait, did I hear it? I might have heard it. Not execution, but I see how you got there. No, it means mass exit. And let me tell you, the Israelites, well, we're going to hear about a story today where a leader named Moses helped the Israelites mass exit Egypt. Wait. Oh, I got a Zoom call. Oh, it's Moses. Should I answer? All right.
Hey, Mike, I heard you were talking about me today. I think it would be better if I take it from here. And after all, there's nothing better than hearing it from the source itself.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Take it away, Moses.
And God said he would make his people into a great nation, and he had. He had grown and grown and grown his people until there were so many of us. But Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, where we were, didn't like that at all.
Oh, yeah. I remember this part. Listen to what Pharaoh said. Look, he said to his people, the Israelites are far too many for us. Come, we must deal with them carefully. If we don't, there will be even more of them. Then if war breaks out, they'll join our enemies. They'll fight against us and leave the country. Now, does Pharaoh sound afraid? Yeah, he was. He was afraid of God's people, the Israelites. And so you know what he did? He made them slaves. That's right. But the more he was mean to God's people, the more they grew and grew and spread. And so to try to stop them from spreading and eventually, creating a revolt, an uprising, he made a terrible decree to try to kill all the boys, the Israelite boys that were born. Raise your hand if you're a boy. Yeah, that's not good for you, especially if you're the firstborn. And so things looked hopeless for God's people. They cried out to God for help. And I don't know about you, but I know God listened. He heard them and listened, and he came to help. And this is all part of his rescue plan, and it involved this guy. Yeah, it involved Moses. Pretty big deal. Now, Moses' family was brave. Now, because when he was a baby, he was part of this group that was about to be killed. Because they said, any Israelite boy that's born, we're going to kill them. That way the Israelites don't spread. But his family hid him in a basket in a river and made him float down the river. And guess who found him? Pharaoh's own daughter. And so Pharaoh's daughter sees this cute little baby in a basket, and she's like, Dad, can I keep it? Please, please. And so naturally, somehow, Moses was saved, and she got to raise Moses like her own son.
But when I got older, I kind of had a bit of a rebellious streak. I did some things that got me in trouble. I was going to try to help my people, but the Egyptians didn't like that too much. In order to stay safe, I had to run away to a far land called Midian. Can you see the picture right back here?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay, perfect. I lived there quietly for a long time as a shepherd. One day, while I was watching the sheep, I saw something unbelievable. A bush was on fire.
Are you all seeing that? That bush is on fire. But the thing is even though the bush was on fire, it wasn't burning up. And then God called to Moses from the bush. The voice of God spoke. And it said, God spoke to him from inside the bush. He called out, Moses, Moses. Here I am, Moses said. Do not come any closer, God said. Take off your sandals. The place you are standing on is holy ground. I am the God of your father. I am the God of Abraham. I am the God of Isaac. I am the God of Jacob.
When I heard that, I had to turn away. I was ashamed and unsure of myself. Why would God want someone like me? I spoke to God and said, who am I
that I should bring the Israelites out of Egypt? Yeah, now Moses thought that this was something too big for him. Moses thought that this was way too big of a task. But God said something amazing. God said, I will be with you. And I don't know about you all, but if I'm about to do something and I'm like a little scared, and the God who created everything in the universe says that he's with me, I don't know about you, but I feel like that would really help me out. That would give me some courage to move on and go forward with the plan. And so God wanted to help Moses. He even gave Moses signs to perform and back up what he was saying when he talked to Pharaoh. God even told Moses that he would help him with exactly what to say. But Moses kept saying over and over again that he was too afraid to talk to Pharaoh. That's right, Moses was scared, even though God said he would be with him. And honestly, I think we all can get there sometimes. We all have been there where we know that God's with us, and yet we're still scared. But do you think God gave up on Moses? Do you think God was like, you know what, you're not listening to me, so I'm done with you? Absolutely not. He never gave up on him, and he actually helped him. He told Moses that, and remember, Moses was scared because he couldn't speak well. He kind of had like a little public speaking fear, and I don't know about you, but that's like the number one fear. But God told Moses that he would also send Moses' brother Aaron to help him speak. And now finally, Moses did what God said. He went back to Egypt, because remember, he was living in Midian at the time, and so he went back to Egypt, Moses and his brother Aaron, and they stood before Pharaoh. And then they said, the God of Israel says, let my people go. Do you think Pharaoh listened?
How dare you tell this story without me? Unlike Moses, I came here in person. Now get back to work, all of you. Why are all of you still sitting? I need you guys to get up on your feet, up on your feet. You guys need to get back to work. Do not stop until I say so. Come on, up, let's go. 20 jumping jacks from all of you. I need to see it. Get on up. Y'all are, come on, back to work, let's go. 20 jumping jacks, let's see it. That's not a jumping jack. Hey, why are you still sitting? Why are you still sitting? I said get moving. Why are you still sitting?
I'm just a storyteller.
Silence. How dare you disrespect Pharaoh? Get up on your feet. I said get moving. Keep going. Do not stop until I say stop. Why have you stopped? I need to see your jumping jacks. You in the back, you need to keep moving. All right, now sit. All of you, sit. Sit. Now, of course, I didn't listen to Moses, and I made God's people work even harder. And poor Moses over here felt discouraged.
Why is Pharaoh so mean? God was with Moses and his people, and God showed his power and performed plagues so that Pharaoh would let God's people go.
First, God turned the river into blood. Ew.
Ew, ew. And then there were frogs. Watch out, you get a frog. You get a frog. You get a frog. Watch out, frogs incoming. And then there was another plague.
Then there was a plague of gnats and flies.
Flies. And then God sent a plague that killed all the Egyptian livestock, and a plague where all of the Egyptians got painful boils. Ugh. Ew. Ew. I mean, listen, you all hear that? You hear that? That crying? That's what you would sound like if you had boils. Because, like, have you ever had, like, a bug bite or, like, anything like that? Well, or poison ivy? Boils are, like, kind of like, you know, your skin rotting. No big deal, but it hurts, so you would cry like that, too.
But did Pharaoh let us go? No.
And then God sent hail to his people. Giant balls of ice.
But did Pharaoh let us go? No.
And then God sent locusts to eat all the crops. Ew.
But did Pharaoh let us go? No.
And then God sent darkness. And it covered Egypt.
But did Pharaoh let us go? Still no.
And then the last plague, the worst plague of all. Every firstborn male in Egypt was going to die. Now, I don't know about you all. Raise your hand if you're the firstborn male, if you're the oldest in your family and you're a boy. So here's the deal. Back then, the firstborn male would get everything. When the father died, the firstborn male, they got the inheritance, they got the land, they got the money, they got everything. A lot was riding on them. And so for the firstborn male to die is huge. And just death alone is a bad thing. But God instructed his people, the Israelites, on how to be saved from the awful plague that was coming. Through Moses, God told the people and instructed the Israelites that they each needed to kill a lamb, an innocent lamb. And he gave them instructions to take the blood of the lamb and to smear it across the top of the doorframe and the sides of the doorframe. And these were the directions that God told the people through Moses. He said, none of you can go out of the door of your house until the morning. The Lord will go through the land to strike down the Egyptians. He'll see the blood on the top and the sides of the doorframe. He will pass over that house. He won't let the destroying angel enter your homes to strike you down. I mean, can you believe that? God provided a way for his people to be safe. And that very night, every oldest son in Egypt died, except the sons of the Israelites, except the Israelite people and their sons who had spread the blood of an innocent lamb over their door frames. And so, finally, Pharaoh shouted, "Go! Get out of here!" And so God's people quickly packed and moved out of Egypt.
All right, looks like it's time for me to head out. If I'm going too long, these people try to build another golden cow. I'll catch you all later.
All right, bye, Moses. Thanks for chiming in. As God's people left Egypt, they were led by God through a cloud of smoke during the day and a pillar of fire, the Red Sea. And they didn't know how to cross it. And if that wasn't bad enough, they turn around, guess what had happened? Pharaoh had changed his mind. Pharaoh changed his mind and said, "What have I done? We've lost all of our workers." And he sent out his army to go and capture the Israelites. And so imagine if you're an Israelite. You've just been freed from slavery. You're excited, but then you see the sea, and then you see Pharaoh's army coming after you and you're stuck. You can't cross the sea. And so the Israelites, they were shouting at Moses. They were saying, what have you done? You've led us here to die. We should have just stayed slaves. We would have been safer in Egypt. But Moses told the people, he said, don't be afraid. Stand firm. You will see how the Lord will save you today. Do you see those Egyptians? You will never see them again. The Lord will fight for you. Just be still. And then the Lord said to Moses, why are you crying out to me? Tell the Israelites to move on. Raise your staff and stretch out your hand over the sea to divide the water so that the Israelites can go through the sea on dry ground. And so that's exactly what Moses did. With the Egyptians coming right behind them, Moses took out his staff and raised it high and parted the Red Sea. A giant wind gust came and parted the waters. And the Israelites were able to walk through the sea on dry ground. But still, the Egyptians were coming. And the Egyptians, they were catching up to them. And so Moses took his staff, he hit it on the ground, and the sea collapsed as the Egyptians. And every single Egyptian, the entire army of Pharaoh, was drowned in the sea. And the Israelites were safe at last. Woo! Absolutely. There was cheering, and the Israelites were finally free. And they saw just how much God had been with them. And remember, this story comes, we're talking about, what's our virtue this month? Courage. Think about it. At first, Moses was scared. Moses was scared. One, he didn't want to speak in front of other people. He didn't feel like he was good enough, but God said he was with him. And I have a question. Now, raise your hand if you've heard of the word Passover before. Yeah, maybe you've heard of the word Passover at church before. Well, listen, Passover, remember earlier how I was talking about the angel of death would come and kill the firstborn son? Except the Israelites. If they put an innocent lamb's blood over their door, the angel of death would pass over, and they would be free and safe. Well, think about it. Remember, God has a rescue plan to save his people. Well, that is just like what Jesus did for us many, many years later. You know, the Passover meal, that they celebrate it with a feast. It's a huge festival, and they still celebrate it today. And it's in remembrance of when God was there for his people and had a plan to save the Israelites from death. But then God had another plan, and that was Jesus. Think about it. Because of Jesus spilling his blood for us on the cross, if we trust and believe in him, the angel of death passes by us. Yes, the death rate is 100%. We're all going to die someday. Sad. But guess what? If you believe in Jesus, we get to spend forever in heaven with God. Jesus' blood saves us, and so that we can have a relationship. Remember, Adam and Eve sinned, and that sin was passed down. Sin is passed down from generation to generation. All of us have sinned and fall short of having a perfect relationship with God. But because of Jesus, that relationship is healed. And we are able, God doesn't see our sin when we die. He sees Jesus' blood on the doorframe of our hearts. And it causes us to be able to have a perfect relationship with him forever. And so we're going back. I don't know about you all, but I like the idea of having a relationship with God. I like the idea of having a relationship with the God who created everything. When God says, hey, I'm with you, I'm like, okay, so this God created planets. He created spiders, I don't know why, but he created everything. And he says he's with me. Well, I don't know about you, but that's going to give me courage. And that's why our bottom line for this weekend is God can give you courage when you don't feel ready. Can you all say that with me? Yeah. God can give you courage when you don't feel ready. And so all of us have fears. And actually, I want to go out into the crowd. What are some of the things that you guys are scared of? Raise your hand. What are some things that you're scared of? I'll go right here. You're sitting respectfully.
Roller coasters.
Roller coasters. All right, so if you're scared of roller coasters, well, you just have to trust that God's going to keep those wheels on that track, and that seatbelt harness tight. What are you scared of?
Being separated from my family.
Oh, no, being separated from your family. And you know what? We can trust and have courage that God will, if that ever were to happen, that he'll get you right back to your family safely. What are you scared of?
Murderers.
I'm being scared of murder. Well, with that, guess what? If we die, guess where we're going? Heaven, baby. We're going to heaven. And hopefully we're not murdered to get there.
Snakes.
Snakes. Raise your hand if you're scared of snakes and spiders. Ooh. Listen, I actually don't know how to not be scared of snakes and spiders. I got nothing for no. God, you know what? They won't kill us, hopefully. But there's anti-venom. There's anti-venom, and most spiders can't kill you. Actually, I don't know if any spiders can. So there are some snakes, but all right, what are you scared of?
Maybe sometimes I feel like, am I some sort of experiment? And and then also sometimes I'm like, I'm afraid of when I try and get out my room, it's gonna be the same room. And I'm like, back and forth.
Well, I gotta say, you're not an experiment. You are a child of God. I don't think you're a robot, though it's 2025 and you can't tell these days, but you are a child of God. And so we all have fears. And we're all gonna need to be brave at one point or another. You know what? We might face something. We might not be facing the Red Sea. God might not tell us to part the Red Sea, but you know what we might be faced with? We might be faced with a bully. Maybe someone's picking on you, and you need to be brave and stand up for yourself or a friend. Or maybe one of you, maybe you're new to Maryland or Calvert County, and you had to be brave and start a whole new school year with new friends. Or you don't have any friends, and so you're scared. But God says he is with us. And you know what? That brings me comfort knowing that the God who created the universe is with me and will take care of me. So let's take a moment. Let's bow our heads and let's pray and thank God for being a God who loves and cares for us. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this incredible story of your faithfulness, God. We're so thankful for the Bible that we can read these stories of how you have been with your people from the beginning to the end. And God, I just pray that everyone in this room, that we would know that you are with us. God, we are your children, and you will protect us. You will keep us safe no matter what our fears are, God. We do not have to fear because you are with us. And that is a promise that you've made, and you have never broken a promise. God, we put our faith and our trust in you, and we thank you that the blood of your Son, Jesus, covers our sin, and so that we can be forgiven and have a perfect relationship with you that lasts through eternity. And it's in the name of Jesus that we pray. Amen.